Huh? Wait a minute. That is not the Burza SDP-44 at tier 6. I mean, the name Grom and Burza could be interchanged. Storm, Thunder, same but different, but still the same. So premium tier 8 Polish tank destroyer debuting on the Russian server first before the other servers and before the actual tech tree, as it should be, funny enough. Also, there's a slew of new vehicles on the super test, mostly the autocannons for the Czechs, but they don't have the in-game garage screenshots yet for now, so we'll take a look anyways. And it's kinda time for another roadmap video, a developer diaries of sorts. So let's do a mid-year review for 2024, all the promises broken by Wargaming yet again, and all the new stuff that should be coming this year that hasn't happened yet. So mid-year review. But alright folks, there is no main focus to this video. There's no main topic. It's a random mishmash of different crap I found this week, so I guess we're doing a hot pot or melting pot of different crap into one video. But special thanks to Schaefer YouTube for mentioning this vehicle hidden along the Alligator and the M-VII-Yoh. So the Russians have a weird testing of sorts. They have a common test, but they also put vehicles onto the live server for testing. So they did it with the GPT BZ high explosive guns or the Japanese heavy tanks. So they have a weird testing of sorts, but the stats on this vehicle is different than our server or our super test, but premium tank, makes more credit and crew XP. They don't have the damage drop-off mechanics for the star-shaped barrel, so just a straight-up damage of 530 compared to 800. Also, penetration is not as good. It's an AP round, and it's not a gold APCR, it's a standard APCR too. It has less alpha for the gold shell, or not even the gold shell, the APCR round. That is kind of weird. Yeah, AP normally without the black banner, so that's not a gold shell. And APCR without the gold banner, so these two are just standard shells, but 530 alpha to 390. What? Also, DPM sucks. I mean, it's consistent now, doesn't have the damage drop off, but doesn't have the 2800 DPM or something like that, right? So yeah, they don't have the 2800 DPM damage drop off, 700 alpha. I thought it was 800, my mistake. But gun traverse is still crap, 5 degrees per side, 7 degrees of gun depression, 15 elevation. Still the same. Traverse about the same speed as well, but yeah, alpha damage dramatically different. Also, there is a turbo mode. What? It's like with the Tiger Mouse for the Russian server. It has a turbo mode, but I mean, it is consistent with the medium tanks, right? I mean, theoretically, the medium tanks also has a turbo mode. So, okay. Okay, 1300 health. Oh, less health, but armor is debatable. It says 190. It cannot possibly be 120 on our super test. Otherwise, this vehicle is crap. We already mentioned this from the what the fuck video. But yeah, 120mm of armor on the hull front, not great. Especially with that angling. So yeah, this thing should have 190 or so, but let's take a look at the actual armor. Armor model should be about the same, right? Just the armor value is different. So the collision model should be the same. Effective value is a little bit different. 190, about 230-ish millimeters effective. So not as strong as the 𝗏𝗏 SDP 58 at tier 8. It's about 250 on that vehicle, but only about 200 for the middle plate. And lower plate is 160. So yeah, armor doesn't look that good. I mean, mantlet could bounce the shots. Cupola is somewhat smaller of a lip, but yeah, armor is about the same as a Kari, the Type 5 Kari. But turbo mode, 51 tons, 14.7 baseline. I think it was like 13 or something. Oh no, 14.7, but it'll get boosted to 24 in turbo mode. Top speed of only 30 standard and 50 for turbo mode compared to 40. And it's slower in non-turbo mode, but it's faster in turbo mode. Makes sense, I guess. And slightly slower hull traverse. Takes about 2 seconds to go into turbo and out of turbo, but 51 tons. Alright. Has better camo in non-turbo mode. That's for firing. So it has worse camo in turbo mode, which doesn't make sense. I mean, there's no flames coming out of it. I mean, like a rocket tank, but whatever. Also has better view range by 10 meters. So yeah, it's a testing. They don't have gold shell. That's a gold shell. It's just a standard banner APCR. But yeah, okay. I mean, doesn't look that crazy, right? Only 230 compared to 250 on the 𝗏𝗏𝗃. So yeah, whatever. AP round, decent enough shell velocity. And very quick shell velocity too for the standard APCR. Just alpha damage is crap. DPM is crap for this vehicle. It's like sniping with the star-shaped barrel mechanics. Alright, let's just jump towards other vehicles. So we have a bunch, but it's mostly the autocannons for the Czech light tanks. They will show up around September or so, right? So it should be the Skoda T17 first. So this is the non-autocannon rapid-firing autoloader version at tier 7. Yeah, alpha damage is only 80, but you have 5 rounds, so 400 alpha burst if you manage to pin all the shells. 12 seconds of reload for 400 alpha. Okay for a light tank. Reminds me of the 5916 or so, but they removed the autoloader. So rapid firing gun, 2 seconds to aim, and 1.3 between each shot. That is quick. Not the quickest, but still pretty quick. I think it was 1 second for the 5916 way back when. I don't remember well. They removed it. They nerfed it. Unfortunate. 8 degrees, and accuracy is kind of if, but it's always been that for all the autocannons. So 80 rounds. Mobility seems okay. Seems like a smaller, chibi cartoon version of a Skoda T27. A little bit, right? A little bit. With the cleft upper plate. So, interesting. But, yeah. Big targets. What is interesting or worrisome about these vehicles is if they get same matchmaking with other light tanks, they won't be countering EBRs, where autocannons are more likely to deal hefty amounts of damage to EBRs, right? It's a natural counter to cars, but nope. If you have the same matchmaking with like Sheridans or T54 lightweight, you're more of a combat light tank than actual counter to cars. Alright, fine, whatever. Small fun fact, or food for thought, but there are 2 tier 8s, VZ64 and VZ68. So we'll do the full video later on, but this vehicle doesn't look as good as the VZ68. It looks more boxy, and I presume this is the tech tree because the premium tank is always better, right? Yeah, this is a little bit more compact, but the gun is smaller. Looks smaller than the VZ68. So we'll do the full video of the WoT-RU video later on, but yeah, it's an autocannon. Shell damage will drop if you're using gold shell by half, which is crazy, but shell velocity picks up as well as the penetration. It is a tier 8, but that pen kinda if. Only good against like medium tanks or Waffentraggers, 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 reload. Clip size is 140, so theoretically it's 840 alpha burst. Theoretically, but likely bounce like half the shells. You do more damage with high explosive, but intuition, Oh, you don't have a loader. That doesn't count. There's no intuition for the crew. Accuracy is still if. Aim time is still if. It's a close range. Spam all the bullets into your ass type of vehicle. But 28 horsepower per ton ratio, not half bad. 60 kilometers per hour top speed. Camo is also not bad. Garbage armor whatsoever. Same health as a 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗬𝗲𝗃? I think it got buffed, but about the original health as a 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗬𝗃. So paper tank mostly. But yeah, this vehicle doesn't look as good as the other tier 8. This is likely the premium tank, no question. Looks like a pseudo BMP mixed with a turret thing, like a BMP-3 almost, with double autocannons. That's also canted to each side, like with the 122s on the Russian guns, but yeah, very slope upper plate, like a BMP almost. But yeah, this thing is definitely the premium. I'm betting money. The smaller vehicle, that is the VZ64, that is the normal tech tree. This is the premium. They didn't mention that on Discord. They didn't say which one's which is the tech tree, which is the premium, but I'm putting money on this being the premium. So more alpha for the gun, better pin, but smaller clip size. Theoretically, smaller alpha of a burst and not as good gun depression angles. So slower also to rev and top speed, but slightly better armor. That doesn't mean much. About the same camo too. Surprisingly bigger though compared to the 64, but whatever. Alright, we have the tier 9. The tier 9 is the LPT-67. So dramatically a little bit bigger than the tier 8s. Also reminds me of a AMBT, American medium tank, with a autocannon on top for some reason, but yeah, the raised engine deck. It's German or American, slightly. But yeah, not a bad looking vehicle. So a little bit more alpha for the gun, therefore, yeah, it's slightly higher burst, but not as many shell per burst. So theoretically, you could still bounce a few, right? But better horsepower per ton ratio, better top speed, not as good camo, but better armor against, like, I don't know, high explosive rounds. Nah, you still pen with 50mm autocannon shells. Still no loader for intuition, unfortunately, but yeah, not bad. It's like Panzer 1C for an entire tech tree, which is a great thought, but balancing, I'm scared because I play Armor Warfare and stuff like the Weasel pisses people off or pisses the bots. It just goes towards the rear with a fast vehicle, it just machine gun their ass into oblivion. So kinda hard to balance, but at least they're doing it for the gold shell, at least. So this vehicle was leaked or debuted or showcased on the roadmap video. So it is the VZ71 with a non-man turret of a design. So hopefully it's all space armor, but I doubt it. So if this is all space armor, then that's hilarious. You can only damage the hull, but looks even thicker of an autocannon. They don't show you the caliber with the super test preview page. Yeah, not bad looking vehicle, but I prefer the more traditional tier 9 looking thing. So alpha damage is about the same, 75 rounds, also about the same, but this thing is faster even more so, 38 horsepower per ton ratio and 65, a little bit more health, and camo is not as good. 15% for camo is crap, right? I mean 17%, 16% is already kind of if, but 15%, it's not as bad as a Sheridan, but this is a combat light tank. It's not a scouting light tank. So you will be at a disadvantage on an open field map like Pokrovka or 𝗏𝗏𝗵𝗶𝗃𝗀 against a Manticore or AMX 13105 or EPR. So this is a combat light tank. It's not really a scout like with the Sheridan, but Sheridan is bottom of the barrel. Give the shillelagh to the Sheridan, please. Actually makes it worthwhile to deal like high missile damage to the mouse or something. They won't do that. They will never do that. Give the shillelagh to the Sheridan. Also, there is the 𝗏𝗏𝗃 that is modified to the Comres 75. It has a 20-pounder. Gun depression is great. Gun elevation is utter crap. So, don't go down to a valley. Always on the hilltop. Always the high ground. Never go towards valley. You'll have a bad time. 10 degrees of gun elevation. That is horrendous. Play something like the Type 63 or the Manticore, and you'll feel it. No gun elevation whatsoever. But at 20-pounder gun, penetration is not as standard as the tier 8s. So kind of more of a tank destroyer 𝗏𝗏𝗃 as opposed to the Challenger thing. But shell velocity is okay for a tier 6. It's all about the gun depression, 40 rounds. Cobra loadout, no loader for this vehicle. Horsepower per turn ratio is not as good as a 𝗏𝗏𝗃. Also not as fast, like 60-ish kilometers per hour, not that much. So a little bit slower. Tank destroyer of a thing. They don't put the view or camo. They only put the view range. Unfortunate, but hey, might be well-deserved reward, which is not a bad deal, but it's at least a little bit better than the Panzer IV F2 or something. Anything's better than that thing. Well, not really. The Turin 3, the Panzer 3K, all kind of crap. And finally, the Toro, supporting heavy tank, Italian at tier 9. What? Compared to the Felice, it's two different vehicles, right? The Felice could be the heavy tank. This could be the medium tank with a smaller caliber of a gun. It is an auto reloader, so nothing breaks the mold, but it's a rear-mounted vehicle. Kind of weird design too. But this could be a medium tank, whereas the Felice could be the heavy tank, right? Theoretically. But yeah, 200mm turret armor with a large cupola and only 140. That's not that well sloped. Could be egg shape like with the Patton, but we'll have to see. So yeah, new super test vehicles. None of these have the in-game garage screenshots yet, so cannot do the WTF videos for now. And finally, let's wrap up with a mid-year review of all the stuff promised for this year. So we have let's just go do this quickly. Speed this up. So this was back in February. It is currently June. 4 months later, we could do another one with the developer update thing.
2024. Today's video will cover a lot of content that we are planning to release over the next 12 months. We will add more next generation maps to the game. We are also planning to
where's the random events? Also the autocannons. Never seen any of the no, not the overwhelming fire. Doesn't happen anymore. Whatever.
all our game modes. We are working on a lot of new tanks that will see daylight within
We
this year.
have the
We are also planning to
Polish
rebalance a lot of our vehicles, multiple times this year. At the same time, we know how important the crew is to you. We already reviewed some of our work last year. This year, we are keeping improving the system and we release more content to this for this episode and some upcoming.
We already watched all of these.
Hello, I'm glad we're together again. That's why the list of random events will be significantly...
Karelia, Pilsen, Redshire, Siegfried Line, and Malinovka. For example, on Siegfried Line, planes will bomb the town. This will affect the overall state of cover. On Malinovka, a plane crashes into the hill, hitting the windmill and creating new defensive and offensive opportunities. As you have seen so far, events will have an impact on battle conditions and create new tactical opportunities, even on maps you've learned like the back of your hand.
Just do it. What? Why? It's half a year past. Just do it. Do it now. Here, I'm here. Kill me. I'm here. Just do it. God damn it. Give us more maps. Like I already complained, but Jesus.
Recon missions continue the idea of random events, making the game environment more interactive. We don't just want to test maps, but also the way players interact with them.
The interactive environment in recon missions.
Oh yeah, exploding fuel trucks and barrels. Where's the exploding fuel trucks? You can also push the fuel trucks into people and explode them. You can also explode them yourself or something. I don't know. Didn't happen. Did not happen.
In 2024, you can expect continuous developments to your beloved arcade cabinet. There will be familiar night battles with modified view range and concealment parameters. You can count on experiencing an overwhelming display of fire, featuring the excitement and chaos of multi-barrel and salvo-firing tanks in aptly named Overwhelming Fire. Additionally, you can look forward to more lighthearted festive fun in the winter arcade.
Just put the night mode into just random battles. Have the
familiar night battles with
You don't need the radio effects or view range effects. Just put the sandbox night mode as a skybox for normal maps, and there you go. Nothing's changed, just a different sky, and that's it. Different shadows, different skies, different houses with lights on them. I don't know, but no, you have to wait for freaking arcade cabinet. But also, what happened to the Squid Games or Fall Guys type of arcade cabinet thing?
Additionally, you can look forward to more lighthearted festive fun in the winter arcade at the end of the year. Of course, there will be new things you haven't seen before.
Squid
We're currently
Games
researching different approaches to map design to make something very unusual and very arcade-like. We believe this work will allow us to bring you a fun game experience and see tank gameplay in a new light.
Like American gladiator thing type of deal, I don't know, with multiple vehicles running about. Okay, that didn't happen for now. We still have 6 months for you to figure out. Frontline is still the same. Frontline, blah, blah, blah. It's good. It's a lot better than Steel Hunter, dramatically. Because the rewards are actually worthwhile for the crew skill reset. Steel Hunter sucks. Other than the St. Patrick's Day loot box. But that was for St. Patrick's Day. The current or just past iteration of Steel Hunter sucks. Ooh, you have super random platoons. Oh, whoopee. Fucking great deal. Goddamn. Sucks.
Close combat, and Czechoslovakian light tanks with autocannons.
The Polish tank destroyers not only share a visual and tactical resemblance to the object.
Tell you more about Czechoslovakian light tanks, but they're currently under active development. All I can say is that they will be armed with guns with an automatic firing mode. They should definitely offer something unusual.
Autocannons, vehicle
Some tanks have been in the game for many years.
Has been highly
the Super Conqueror
to counter in such situations.
The
𝗠𝗶𝗃-𝗬𝗲 has been clearly outmatched by many of its heavy counterparts. It'll receive a noticeable improvement to its characteristics and become a tank for all, and not no longer have to increase the major qualification level of your crews. It will be replaced by crew efficiency bonus, which will show the effect of things like
training, all the crew skills update, yada yada. Big year for crew stuff. So hopefully, I don't like the one crew for 3 vehicles. That's kind of defeating my purpose of having a bunch of crews. But then again, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Achievements, piece of crap. Animated dog tags. Oh god. World Tank Plus, give us more maps. Blah blah blah.
So guys, now I want to talk a little bit about the battle pass. First news, it's gonna happen. We have actually 3 wonderful battle passes prepared for you for this year. First one is actually happening in March. I can't reveal right now what kind of collaboration we are working on, but it will be very, very interesting, and I hope you guys will enjoy it.
Yeah, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle and D-Day. That's a collaboration. I thought it was Girls on Panzer. You failed me.
Next one will be in June, dedicated to D-Day on the 80th anniversary. That's actually happening this year. So we will have a dedicated battle pass chapter as part of the history, covering a lot of different beats regarding the D-Day or Normandy campaign. And we have a last one towards the end of the year, which I can't tease too much of right now as well. But let me tell you that it's related to a very famous game mode, and we have something
very famous game mode for the 3rd season of Battle Pass. It's either Merely 13, which unlikely since we already got one for last year, or Waffentrigger stuff. I'm betting the Waffentrigger stuff, the Blitztrigger thing, is next, the final Battle Pass stuff. But yeah, it's kind of redundant to do another Merely 13 related Battle Pass, right? So they're probably doing one for Waffentrigger, unless it's not Frontline. Like D-Day is Frontline practically, so you already have that. Also, it's not Steel Hunter. Nobody likes Steel Hunter. Like very seldom few like Steel Hunter, and I pity you. There's nothing else. Also, soccer mode should be coming back. I saw the 2D style for soccer mode, but that's up in the air. We could get like 2 weeks or 3 weeks of soccer mode with the Object 140, but yeah, this year is actually pretty light. Pretty light. Only 2 tech trees and some of the repeats of other stuff. It's mostly about the crew rebalance, but that's not that big of a deal. It's good. I mean, it's not the worst, but it's not crazy. Give us more maps. Jesus Christ. I already mentioned this so many times. Give us more maps. Well, there you go, folks. Yeah. Jeez. I mean, random mishmash of random crap. The Burza, which is not WZ66T Burza. It's SDP WZ66, the Grom, but alright, fine, whatever. Hidden along the Alligator and the M-VII-Yoh, which we already covered, but they did not mention testing of this vehicle. So they test vehicles with weird designation. For example, with the GPT BZ tanks. Where's the hell is the... So original testing is called GPT 75T. the release version is GPT-75. So they put a T behind vehicles like the Type 71 and the Type 71T. So they have a weird testing of stuff on the live server with 2 copies or just a copy of the same vehicle. So I don't know what the hell they're doing, but your guess is as good as mine. Well, there you go, folks. Hodgepodge, mishmash, a random crap. But yeah, 2024 seems whatever. Like, okay. Also, what happened to the Project CW, huh? We saw that like in February. Nothing came out of it. World of Tanks 2.0, more like Onslaught 2.0. It's been a quiet few months. I don't know. But as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.